G'day guys, how's it going? My name is Big Pup, and today we're doing some battles in the Great League. We'll be utilising a 100% Shadow Hitmonchan running Counter, Power Up Punch and Ice Punch, a 98% Shiny Miltank running Rollout, Body Slam and Ice Beam, and finally a Shadow Venusaur running Vine Whip, Sludge Bomb and Frenzy Plant. So without further ado, let's hop into these battles. Hopping straight into the battles, we have Shadow Hitmonchan into an Altaria. Normally a bad matchup. If we can land the Ice Punch, this should be doing some devastating damage to this Altaria. In comes the Ice Punch. Will it land? Come on Hitmonchan. Lands and takes out the Altaria, doing huge damage. We counted down. What will come in next? It's an Azumarill. Unfortunately, we can't do any damage to this Azumarill with their Fairy Water typing, so we make a quick switch into our Shadow Venusaur. These Vine Whips are doing absolutely huge damage to the Azumarill. They're going to throw the Ice Beam. We're going to shield up. We try and throw the Frenzy Plant, but unfortunately we lose CMP. We're going to have to throw up the second shield. We obviously don't want to let all this energy in the Venusaur go to waste. In comes the Frenzy Plant. They should be taking out the Azumarill or getting a shield. We get the shield. We're going to keep farming. We get to a second Frenzy Plant. This should be doing some huge damage or grabbing another shield. In comes the Frenzy Plant. Gets the shield, and we're going to keep Vine Whipping down. Unfortunately, this Ice Beam will be doing some devastating damage to the Venusaur. Down goes the Venusaur. Another one bites the dust. And all we need to do now is come in with Miltank and start spamming out these Body Slams. In comes Body Slam number 1. This should be doing a nice amount of damage. In comes Body Slam. Takes out the Azumarill. What's going to be in the back? It's Glare and Stunfisk. Realizing they have nothing to switch into, we quickly switch into our Shadow Hitmonchan. Before they accumulate any energy, we throw one Power Up Punch. We're at the second Power Up Punch. We get in a counter in between. In comes the Power Up Punch. Now 1, 2, 3. These counters are doing absolutely amazing damage. My goodness. That Glare and Stunfisk did not know what hit it. It's in the red. All we need to do now is we could have Rollout down, honestly, but we're going to throw the Body Slam just to secure that win. And down goes the Glare and Stunfisk. Good game to that trainer. Hopping into the next match, you have Shadow Hitmonchan into a Walrein. We love this matchup. That Ice typing is taking huge damage from these counters. They throw in a Stunfisk. We're throwing the first Power Up Punch. We're going to ramp up that attack. Come on, baby. In comes the first Power Up Punch. Gets a shield. Brilliant. We make a quick switch into our Shadow Venusaur, realizing they're switch locked. They throw the Mud Bomb. It's only doing neutral damage. In comes the Frenzy Plant, sorry. Here it comes. It's been doing some good damage to that Stunfisk with the ground typing. Takes it out. What's going to come in next? It's the Walrein. They realize they have that shredding powdered snow against our Shadow Venusaur. But it doesn't matter. We're going to let it go down. In comes the Icicle Sphere. And we're just going to send in Shadow Hitmonchan and go to work, baby. Go to work. It's like watching Mike Tyson pummel someone. In comes the Power Up Punch. Power Up Punch does a good amount of damage. Takes out the Walrein. What's in the back? It's a Venusaur. So we're going to get to a Power Up Punch. I didn't see if they have any shields left, but hopefully they think this is an Ice Punch. It doesn't get a shield, but that's okay. We're going to keep ramping our attack. These counters are doing absolutely amazing damage. In comes the second Power Up Punch. Will this be getting the shield? Gets the shield. Now we're up 2 shields to none, and we have a whole Miltank in the back. What will they be throwing here? It's a Frenzy Plant. In comes the Frenzy Plant. Does a nice chunk of damage, but it doesn't matter. We have 2 shields. They need to get to 3 Frenzy Plants. It's not going to happen. In comes another Frenzy Plant. We get to the Body Slam. Let's go Miltank for the win. In comes the Body Slam, and we take the win. So good game to that trainer. Hopping into the next match, we have Shadow Hitmonchan into a Togedemaru. These counters are doing absolutely obliterating damage, and they make a quick switch into an Ice typing, which is brilliant for us. We're going to throw the Power Up Punch. In comes the Power Up Punch. Does a good amount of damage, and they're throwing these Ice Shards. This should just be an Icy Wind, but we're still going to shield being so glassy. In comes the Icy Wind. We throw out the shield, and we farm down. In comes a Medicham. We're going to throw another Power Up Punch. This should be doing some okay damage. Their Psychic typing does negate a lot of the damage, does a little chip damage. These counters are doing a surprising amount of damage to that Psychic type. In comes the Ice Punch. Ice Punch lands and does a really nice chunk of damage. We needed that. So in comes the Power Up Punch, does a nice little bit of damage because of our Poison typing. Back comes in the Togedemaru, which does resist our charge moves, but it doesn't matter. Shadow Venusaur is extremely powerful. In comes the Gyro Ball, so that's very unfortunate. We throw the Frenzy Plant. This should be either getting a shield or KOing. Gets a shield, and we're gonna get... we don't quite get to a second Frenzy Plant, that's unfortunate. But these Shadow... we only had a slur of health, but the amount of damage these counters do is just ridiculous. It's absurd. In comes the Wild Charge, we definitely need to shield that. We throw another Rollout. What's going to be in the back? Of course it's the Medicham. We just need to get to 2 Body Slams now. Assuming this one, the first one will get the shield, gets the shield. We keep Rollouting. Come on, we're at the Body Slam, so all we need to do now is tank whatever charge move this is. Fingers crossed it's not a Dynamic Punch. It's just a Power Up Punch. We'll throw a Body Slam, and this should be securing us the win. So good game to that trainer. Very close one in the end. And we take the win. Moving on to the next match, We have Shadow Hitmonchan into a Medicham. So this is obviously a bad matchup for us. Their Psychic typing is definitely negating this huge counter damage that we'd normally doing in the neutral matchups. So we're going to throw the first Power Up Punch. We don't really want to switch out here. We know if we switch into Venusaur, they're going to have some sort of other Psychic type, Flying type, or Fire type. And if we switch into Miltank, they'll have another Fighter or something. So we're just going to stay in and lose the matchup softly. We'll throw in Shadow Venusaur. Hopefully it's not a Psychic. It's an Ice Punch, so that's okay. We'll farm up to a Frenzy Plant, and this should be either getting a shield or KOing the Medicham. Whoopsie daisy, we missed some bubbles, but it doesn't matter. We take out the Medicham, 2 shields, and what are they going to have? It's a Registeel. So this matchup is not looking good. Obviously our Frenzy Plants aren't doing very much damage to that Registeel, nor is the Sludge Bomb, and what does Miltank have to counter a Registeel? Really nothing. Ice Beam's doing nothing, Body Slam's doing nothing. So all we can really hope for is we do enough chip damage and get some shields with the Venusaur. Miltank comes in, takes out the Registeel, and maybe they have something super weak to Miltank, maybe? I don't know. A bale of hay, perhaps. In comes 2 rollouts. We're almost at a Body Slam. We're going to let the Zap Cannon go through. Hopefully no big debuff. Yep, no debuff. We're at 2 Body Slams, pretty much. We're going to throw a Body Slam. Come on, Miltank. Show us what you got. In comes a Body Slam. Does very little damage. We get 2 more rollouts through, which is a lot of energy, actually. They're going to throw another Zap Cannon. Please don't get the debuff. They get the debuff, though. We're at 2 Body Slams. Come on, you good cow. Come on. Come on. In comes a Body Slam, does a nice chunk of damage. We get to another Body Slam. You know, Miltank's just a little sumo wrestler in cow form. Takes out the Registeel, and unfortunately it's a Galarian Sunfisk. So obviously there's nothing we can do. These Ice Beams are not very effective, these Body Slams are not very effective, and they're just going to Rock Slide us. So good game to that trainer. Moving to the next one, we have Hitmonchan into a Politoed. So we don't mind seeing the Toad in the front. They're going to outpace us to these Weather Balls, but we can vamp up our attack and use shields and take switch advantage. So we get to the first Power Up Punch. This should be doing a nice amount of damage, or maybe getting a shield perhaps if they fear the Thunder Punch. In comes the Power Up Punch, gets a shield, and we vamp our attack. Best of both worlds. In comes another Weather Ball. So the idea here is we'll get to another Power Up Punch, and then we can counter down, having a very vamped up Hitmonchan for whatever comes in next. One more counter, down they go, another one bites the dust, and in comes a Skarmory. Now you may be looking at this saying, what a terrible matchup. But because of their steel typing, these punches, these counters, are actually doing huge, devastating damage. They're absolutely knocking that bird out of the sky. Down goes Hitmonchan, and we'll come in with Miltank to absorb the Sky Attack, or possibly the Brave Bird. Or maybe if they're very spicy, a Flash Cannon. In comes the Sky Attack, that's okay. We try and throw the Ice Beam, but we lose CMP. In comes the Sky Attack. We hang on with red health when throw the Ice Beam. This should be taking out the Skarmory and setting us up for whatever comes in next. What is it going to be? It's a Shadow Machamp, so that's obviously sending us back into the Shadow Realm. We're going to send in Venusaur. We need to get to a Frenzy Plant and tank whatever charge move they throw. Fingers crossed it's a cross drop, but no, it's a Rock Slide, so we have a slither of red health left. We throw the Frenzy Plant, and this should be doing enough damage to secure the win. So good game to that trainer. Moving into the next match, we have Venusaur into a Guzzlord. So the big Guzz is definitely a bad matchup for Venusaur, so we try and switch into a good matchup, countering down the Guzzlord, but unfortunately they counter swap into a Alola Ninetales. We throw a Power Punch, we get a shield, but these charms are absolutely making Shadow Hitmonchan look like a little boy. We switch into Venusaur. Although we have this poison typing, it's still a terrible matchup because these Weather Balls are doing huge, absolutely huge damage. These charms aren't doing very much damage anymore, but it doesn't matter. They're so spammy. Well, they're not really spammy with Charm, what am I saying? But still. In comes Guzzlord. We're going to throw a Resisted Frenzy Plant. This will be doing an okay amount of damage, even though it's resisted. Guzzlord's pretty glassy in the Great League? I'm unfamiliar with Guzzlord, but yeah, it does a nice amount of damage for a resisted move. They're going to throw the Crunch, hopefully no debuff. We make a quick switch into Miltank, and all we can hope for now is a bit of a Body Slam off. Come on, Miltank. Come on. Miltank throws the first Body Slam, does a nice amount of damage. In comes an Azumarill, and now we just need to spam these Body Slams like nothing else, at a rate of knots, you could say. In comes a Body Slam. Come on, Miltank. Come on, you good thing. In comes another Ice Beam. Yep, it's the Ice Beam. Come on, Miltank. We need to get to 2 Body Slams. Come on, show us your pedigree. Come on. In comes another Body Slam. Now we need to get to 2 from here. So in comes another Body Slam, and this should be grabbing a shield, hopefully. They're getting pretty low on health. No, they're pretty daring. They're going to stay in. We make a quick switch into Venusaur. Maybe the play would have been to stay in with Miltank and keep spamming out Body Slams and then try and Vine Whip down. But hey, you don't really know in the end. In comes a Body Slam. This should be doing a nice amount of damage or grabbing a shield. Gets a shield. Can we get to another Body Slam? No, unfortunately not. So Azumarill, the Great League OG, is taking the win with the Ice Beam. So good game to that trainer. Moving into the next one, we have Shadow Hitmonchan into a Lantern. We don't really mind this matchup. We're doing great damage with these counters. They're obviously getting to these Surfs and Lightning Bolts so quick. In comes the Surf. We're going to get slightly overfarmed to a Power Up Punch. In comes Power Up Punch, which should be doing a nice amount of damage. Gets a shield, so that's the best of both worlds, you already know. In comes another Power Up Punch. Now we're 2 stages buffed and should be doing huge damage with these counters. That Lantern, even though our Shadow Hitmonchan's wearing gloves, it's feeling it. It's feeling those fists. In comes another Surf, we're going to double shield. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Lantern bites the dust. In comes the Sableye. I bet they're not expecting the Ice Punch. I bet they're expecting another Power Up Punch. It lands. Let's go. Shadow Hitmonchan showing its mettle. We counter and down. And that that Sableye is pretty much gone. They throw the foul play. We go down. In comes Miltank and they throw in a Trevenant. Come on, baby. We're going straight for the Ice Beam. You already know. They're expecting a Body Slam. They're probably expecting a bait, but we're going straight for that beam. Come on, baby. Come on, Miltank. The blue shiny should only use Ice Beam. It's only right. The Ice Beam gets through the shield and they back out. Thank you all so much for watching. Thus concludes my battles using the blue cow, Miltank. Please like and subscribe and tune in for more Pokemon Go content. Thank you.